Mattress Factory.
970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with Meteorologist Justin Storm and our wonderful, talented Ag Director Bridgette Readel. It is Halloween. I'm not sure what's...
I can't see Bridgette. We got scary face over there.
Wow. What? I'm trying to figure out what her mask is. What is...
Okay.
So if you're watching it... Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who are watching online, and especially if you follow me on Twitter, I love Frankenberry cereal. It is my favorite thing.
That's who that is.
This is my costume from when I was 4. This is my mask. And then if you look behind me, I have all my other Frankenberry items right there.
That is awesome, Bridgette. I love it.
Oh, that's great.
I absolutely love it.
So anybody who wants to make sure they snap a picture of that, there's Bridgette's shrine to Frankenberry right there. Thank you to our cereal grain growers, because you provide me with a whole lot of fun every morning.
Oh, fantastic! Hey, are we gonna see Baby Storm during this? Maybe no.
Possibly. He's napping right now.
Oh, then
so
don't wake him. No, don't wake him.
If you can somehow hear screaming in the background, just let me know, and then maybe. But also at the same time, who wants to listen to a screaming baby? So probably not.
Good point. Well, I'll tell you what isn't going to make you scream, or what isn't spooky, is this weather. Oh my goodness, it is just absolutely.
I don't know. It might be a little spooky. It's pretty warm out there.
It feels
for
good.
The end of October.
Right. I know. 60 here in town. It's 65 in Wahpeton. Hop over the river. Wolverton is checking in at 64. A little further north, temperatures in the upper 50s to near 60 around Grand Forks. So really nice weather throughout the entire area. And not only are we going to be in the mid-60s today, but we're going to be in the upper 60s tomorrow. And our record on Wednesday is 73, set back in 1978. I think we're going to come darn close to that. We may tie that. I don't know if we'll have enough to break it, but boy, 70s for early November. Just incredible. Incredible.
Hold on. Along with that weather, doesn't that have something to do with which one of us is going to win the bet? And I think it might be.
Hey,
I think Bridgette was closest. I said, what was the weather forecast? And we did this a couple weeks ago. What did the weather look like for Halloween? I said 30s. Who said
Bridgette went 50s.
Yeah,
I went 70s.
And it will be in the 50s during trick-or-treat hours. So, yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be really...
Oh, I thought we were doing the high temperature.
Oh, Bridgette?
Oh, sure. Now we're going to change all the rules just so Justin wins.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's right. That's me.
No,
that's pretty cool. I think Bridgette wins regardless.
Yeah, we are going to be giving away a rain gauge today. I've got a trivia question that I'm thinking
it's not Googleable.
This is not. You're going to have to do more research to Google it, but I mean, it can be found. But I think this one might be a little more difficult. And Bridgette and Justin, I've got a story for you about a young farmer that we met on the golf course yesterday. He listens to us, by the way. Great story there. And what else are we going to be talking about today? We've no guests today, but we've got a lot of topics to talk about. We're going to dive a little deeper into the LRC because we're about 3 weeks into the LRC pattern, and wow. That's all I can say. So we'll dive more into that, but first we have to take a quick break for ABC News. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Many observers expect the Supreme Court to toss out 40 years of precedent on affirmative action in college admissions after it takes arguments on 2 cases today.
Edward Bloom is founder of Students for Fair Admissions. He fought to get 2 cases before the Supreme Court today, one against Harvard, the other against the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, challenging affirmative action in higher ed.
The heart of the issue is, should colleges and universities treat students differently because of their race and their ethnicity?
He believes the court should come to the same conclusion and ban race-conscious admissions nationwide.
ABC's Derek Dennis. Midterm elections next Tuesday. In Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp and Democratic nominee Stacey Abrams debated. He touted his pandemic credentials.
Thankfully in Georgia, because we were open even when Ms. Abrams didn't want us to be, our economy has been incredibly resilient. We've had 2 record years for economic development.
But at what cost, asked Abrams.
Under Brian Kemp's 4 years in governor, crime has gone up, 6 hospitals have closed, housing prices are skyrocketing, and communities are in turmoil.
The debate in Atlanta, hosted by ABC News affiliate station WSB. 132 known dead after a century-old bridge collapsed into a river in western India. No big winner of Saturday night's Powerball lottery drawing. Jackpot swells to at least $1 billion for tonight's draw.
It's the second billion-dollar jackpot in Powerball history, second largest in U.S. history. Self-described lottery lawyer Kurt Panuzis has advised dozens of past winners. Protect your privacy.
We want them to ride out into the sunset and enjoy their life. But unfortunately, this newfound fame is something that they're not used to.
And
you need some good financial planners.
Jackpot, great. Odds, lousy.
ABC's Chuck Sievertson. You're listening to ABC News.
A new Bank of America survey shows 64% of Americans had already started preparing for the winter holidays in mid-September. Here's Mary Hines Drosch from Bank of America with tips for smart holiday spending.
To stretch your dollars further, it's important to strategize now. Set a budget that accounts for all your needs, including everything from gifts and shipping fees to travel.
And don't forget to seek out seasonal deals like Bank of America's More Rewards Day to help offset costs on the things you need.
To help our clients get the most from their holiday spending, we're giving the gift of more rewards this year. Mark your calendar for More Rewards Day on Saturday, November 5th to automatically earn cash back, points, or miles for purchases made with all Bank of America consumer and small business credit cards. You'll be rewarded even if your card doesn't earn rewards.
This promotion is for one day only, so don't miss out. To learn more, visit bankofamerica.com/More Rewards Day.
Fairmeadow Nursing Home in Fertile, Minnesota is expanding their team and are looking for you. If you are looking for a great career in nursing as a CNA, LPN, RN, PTA, TMA, or universal worker, check out their new wage scale, shift differential pay, benefits, and free premium for single health plan for 30-plus hours a week. Flexible schedule, great retirement, and more. Be a part of their dynamic interdisciplinary team environment. Apply in person or visit their Facebook page at Fairmeadow Nursing Home and Assisted Living, Fertile, MN.
Open enrollment season is here. It's time to pick your Medicare Part D plan for coverage to begin January 1st. Free Medicare assistance is available to all North Dakotans through the State Health Insurance Counseling Program. Our team will help with forms, claims, options for coverage, appeals, and more. Open enrollment is from October 15th through December 7th. To speak with a counselor, call 888-575-6611 or visit insurance.nd.gov. This ad paid for by the North Dakota Insurance Department with funds from the Administration for Community Living.
Did you know that periodontal disease is the #1 health problem in small animal patients? Hello, I'm Dr. Calderwood, a veterinary dental practitioner at Prairie Winds Veterinary Center. By 2 years of age, 80% of dogs and 70% of cats have some form of periodontal disease. If you notice a change in your pet's playful habits, breath, or facial swelling, there's a chance that your pet is suffering from mouth pain. Prairie Winds Veterinary Center can help. Call us at 701-356-5600 or learn more at prairiewindsvet.com.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. We want to thank you for joining us this afternoon on a beautiful, beautiful fall day. End of October in the 60s. We're going to start off November in the 70s. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we're going to do a little weather trivia question to win one of our beautiful rain gauges from Productive Alternatives down in Fergus Falls. And today's weather trivia question. What am I? I'm 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I'm found all over the world and in every season. I scatter all frequency of visible light. I am typically clear in color, although some swear that I am blue or white. What am I? 701-293-9000. 701-293-9000. Again, I am 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I'm found all over the world and in all climates. I am Let's see. Where'd I go? Oh, I scatter all frequency of visible light. I am clear in color, but some would swear I can be blue or white. What am I?
My hair when I'm 65, that bluish, bright white color of the little ladies have. That's mine. That's what I'm going for.
Again, that's 701-293-9000 if you have the answer for that. So, Bridgette, we were out golfing yesterday, and we got paired up with somebody that actually they're a great viewer. He listens to us. He's 28 years old. And I said to him, because he had that voice for radio or TV or something, and I said, so what do you do? He goes, oh, I'm a farmer. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, young kid. And I said, is it your farm? He goes, well, it's my dad's farm, and I'm learning all about it, and I'm going to take it over. And so we started talking about of not many kids want to take over their parents' farm, and I asked him, I'm like, well, why do you want to take it over? He goes, it's fun. I love it. I love what I do. It's a great living. And he goes, it's hard work. And I said, that's awesome. That is awesome. That I said, because not a lot of the younger kids, they know it's hard work, and that's why they don't really want to take it over. So hats off. I believe it was Mark. We were golfing with. So they've got a farm just north of the Fargo Metro here. And yeah, so Mark, thanks for listening, by the way, as well, and good golf game.
Well, that's super cool.
Well, yeah. if you'd like, I've got all sorts of stuff. One of them is Successful Farming recently did a story similar to what your experience was, Dean, saying that really employers look at such an advantage of kids who are raised on the farm or have farming experiences because they come with that work ethic and they're able to problem solve and really handle the curveball well when you think about what Mother Nature can throw at you, etc. And so their advice is that when you are applying for a job or internships, whether you are young students or someone who's mature in your career, make sure to mention that farm experience. It usually bodes very well for you on resumes with employers.
Right. Our phone lines are lighting up. Jacob, do we have a winner yet? Thumbs up, thumbs down? He hasn't said anything. He's on the phone, but so again, if you're
everyone's trying their guess.
Right. So again, the trivia question to win one of our rain gauges. It's what am I? I am 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I'm found all over the world. I scatter all frequency of visible light. Therefore, my color is clear, although some would swear I could be blue or white. What am I?
Okay. While you're waiting for that answer to come in, as people are calling, for those of you who haven't decided what you want to give away for Halloween tonight, first of all, I'll send you my list of my favorite candy bars. I will take them off your hands if you feel you're long in the Kit Kat department. Otherwise, chocolate milk. If you want to run out and buy some little bottles of chocolate milk, it is a great recommendation as the official beverage of Halloween, because that 8-ounce serving of chocolate milk brings you 300 milligrams of calcium, or 30% of a child's daily calcium requirements. Athletes drink it as a recovery drink. It provides you vitamin D, protein, potassium, vitamins A, B12, riboflavin, and phosphorus. Kids who drink milk tend to drink less sweetened drinks. So keep that in mind, Justin, for baby Storm. Maybe you want to think about chocolate milk before too long.
Oh, I got a whole gallon in the fridge already. That's like my second favorite beverage.
Oh, chocolate milk is unbelievable. And we do have a winner. Jacob, is he on the line? He's on the line? All right. So Mike is on line 1. Mike, what is the answer? The trivia question was, I am 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I'm found all over the world. I scatter all frequency of visible light. Therefore, I'm actually clear in color, but some would swear I'm blue or white. What's the answer?
Well, when you said H2O, that's got to be water. But then when you said it's blue, that's got to be a snowflake.
Well, it is. It's actually clear in color, but when snow gets compacted, in some parts of the world, you can get kind of a blue tint to it. So congratulations, Mike. And did you Google it, or did you actually just put 2 and 2 together?
Well, when you move a lot of snow in your life, you actually see a lot of blue snow.
Right. I was going to throw yellow in there too, but I figured that might be a that might be a curveball.
I don't have a St. Bernard.
Yeah.
Mike is exactly right. There's many years when we get those wet, heavy snowfalls, they do have a bluish tint to them when you're out there shoveling it. So great observation, Mike.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Mike. And I'm guessing Jacob got all your information, so you know where to pick up your rain gauge.
Sure did.
Excellent. Mike, thank you for listening, and congratulations.
Yep, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Boy, I thought that might. I thought the blue part might throw a little curveball into it, but I was going to say I'm hexagonal in shape, but I'm like, that might give it away.
Yeah.
But Mike had it.
Still a good trivia question.
Yeah.
It's not something you could have Googled. Is the fun thing.
Yeah, because there's like kind of.
I mean, you could have, but that's a lot of typing out.
So, congratulations to Mike. And Mike, by the way, I forgot to mention to him, you got to be one of our weather watchers when we get rainfall, so you got to call it in. At least we'd appreciate that.
We really do. And again, that information is not just what we use here at WDAY for Weather and Ag in Focus, but we share that with the National Weather Service. And so Dean and Justin greatly appreciate being able to get that information from all of you to pass on. The same way, I'm always happy to hear how much you got and in what areas, because we like to compare in the ag community is what'd you get for rain?
Right, exactly. So we're coming up on another well, we got to pay the bills. So we're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we're going to dive a little further into the LRC, how that's starting off so far, what changes could be coming around the corner. I am starting to see a pattern change over the next 2 to 3 weeks. How long will it last, though? That's the big question. So we'll dive into that and more ag topics as well coming up right after the break.
What do you tell folks when they ask who your insurance agent is and why?
DJ's great. His practice has been not just an insurance agent, but also there's a friendship there. They are very open about their communications with their clients. They want to do everything they can to help their clients. I've got multiple policies with him: auto, home, life insurance, an umbrella policy. Anything and everything you need insurance-wise, you can get from DJ Coulter Insurance.
DJ Coulter, American Family Insurance, 235-6641, djcoulter.com. Discover Kinder Care. Kinder Care is assisted living homes located in West Fargo, offering adult daycare services, companion care, and assisted living. All the services you need available at Kinder Care, plus home-cooked meals, 24-hour security, personal care, and more, all in a cozy family environment located on 3 acres of land in a scenic, quiet country setting in West Fargo. KinderCareFargo.com or call 701-261-3246.
This looks like a job for Closeout Man. No good, huh? What about this? Hey, this is Johnny Golf Cart here, and if you don't get your golf cart, me and the boys will come find you. No good? Okay, well, how about this? The largest selection of Club Car Onward golf carts is at All Season Motorsports. 0% financing for up to 36 months on 22 and 23 Club Car Onward golf carts. All Season Motorsports. Better get yours. I-94 and Cheyenne Street, West Fargo.
In public, Rick Becker says he opposes federal crop insurance for our farmers and ranchers.
No, I don't support any federal insurance.
But behind closed doors, he has reaped hundreds of thousands of dollars from the government for his businesses, $200,000 in property tax breaks alone. And despite getting all of this government money for his businesses, Becker opposes a vital program like federal crop insurance for our farmers and ranchers. In fact, without federal crop insurance, North Dakota is just one natural disaster away from wiping out our state's ag industry. And when challenged about the government support his businesses received, Becker callously said,
"Don't hate the player, hate the game."
Rick Becker will end federal crop insurance, and North Dakota farm families will pay the price.
North Dakota Strong, paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at northdakotastrong.org.
Oil and natural gas create opportunities for North Dakota. In fact, over 50,000 North Dakotans have good-paying jobs thanks to the oil and natural gas industry. Real people finding prosperity in their careers and bringing it home for their families and communities. It's one of the many ways oil and natural gas are making life better in North Dakota for generations. North Dakota's oil and natural gas, advancing the possibilities.
Hi, my name is Rohith, and I'm a junior at Fargo South. I moved here with my parents at an early age, and I plan to study civil engineering in college. The reason I'm so hopeful about my future is Legacy Children's Foundation. I want to thank the amazing donors who are complete strangers to me. I am amazed by their generosity. Because of them, Legacy Youth receives resources and positive relationships to become educated leaders. Find out more at LegacyChildren'sFoundation.com.
Do you run diesel? ATI Fargo has bulletproofing on your 6.0 vehicles. Looking to get fleet work done? ATI Fargo has you covered. They have fuel system disaster prevention kits for your 6.7 Power Strokes. ATI Fargo can get your Cummins head studded and never think of it again. Do you own a business and need quick turnaround on repairs? Call ATI Fargo. Stop in at 2764 44th Avenue North in Fargo. Running diesel? Check out ATI Fargo and give them a call at 218-639-5017.
To Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Ag Director Bridgette Readel, and you're listening to us on WDAY 93.1 FM and 970 AM. You can also find us on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, where I see we have a few viewers on there, so thank you for joining us on Facebook and YouTube. And remember, you can always join in on the show, ask some questions, join our conversation or some comments. Give us a phone call, 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number on the screen as well for the viewers, 701-293-9000, or you can always send those topics or questions to email during or after the show, weather or ag at flagfamily.com. Now, as Dean was teasing, we see some changes, or at least a different portion of a pattern starting to set up in regards to the LRC, and I think it's good news. Dean, do you want to go into a little more detail on exactly what it is that we're seeing around the corner?
Absolutely. So the first part of this LRC cycle, it's been pretty darn dry, and we've started out having a big ridge off the west coast. That's what started this the start of the cycle on the cold side. And then these storms keep rolling in. Now we're getting an onshore flow, which that's good news. But these storms have been racing either north or south of us and haven't had time to kind of slow down over the Rockies, tap that Gulf of Mexico moisture. Now we're starting to see signs on some of our longer-term models that this pattern is and should start slowing down, allowing these storms to kind of gather more moisture and hopefully throw them up into the northern plains. Now, the next storm system coming our way, which is going to drag a cold front through here, after we get near record warmth on Wednesday, a lot of that moisture is going to be shunted south. We will have some of that pull north, but starting to see some signs that a couple more of these storms that will be entering the west coast should be able to move their way northward into our area, bringing us some much-needed precip. How much is still a little bit in question, but at least we're seeing signs of a little pattern change in the LRC. If we can get 2 or 3 of these storms to roll through, that will be the wet part of the LRC cycle, which will cycle back through later this winter and into the spring. If these storms, and this is what I've been kind of worried about, is the majority of these storms have been passing to our south. They kind of split in two pieces with the main energy going south. If that continues over the next 3 weeks, then we are more than likely in for a very dry winter, and that would lead into bad news for spring and for summer. It would be kind of reminiscent to what we had 2 winters ago, where we didn't really get much snow, and then we had severe drought during the spring and summer. Let's hope that's not the case, but we're only 3 weeks into the LRC cycle. I don't see signs of it going back to or beginning to set itself. In other words, that the original pattern with the West Coast ridge and a big trough in the Great Lakes, I don't see that returning anytime soon. So let's hope we can get in this wet pattern for about 3 weeks straight. That would be nice. At least it would give us a chance for some much-needed precip, whether that be rain or snow. And I also see we haven't had any Arctic air masses slide our way, and all of our long-range models are building not only the snowpack in Western Canada, but they're building an Arctic air mass in Western Canada too, and it's only a matter of time before that will slide in, and I think that'll slide in here probably by mid-November, the way it looks right now. We'll see how it all pans out, but let's get some much-needed moisture first.
Yeah, Dean, I was taking a look at a couple of the models, as I'm sure you've probably seen with the change in this pattern. And like you said, the good news is we want 2 or 3 of these storms, and it looks like there's about 2 or 3 of them showing up on our long-range computer models, at least within a realistic range. We'll just have to keep a very close eye on them and see where they exactly track, and hopefully we get in on a little bit of moisture, because I think we could all benefit from a little rain or snow, because we're going to need that to come back around in the next cycles. And we have had a few storm systems, like you said, Dean, that have just tracked 2 hours south. There is some hope, even if this first LRC cycle is on the drier side, is when this maybe winter won't be the most wet, but when we come back around into mid-late spring, early summer, as that jet stream starts to weaken, maybe a few of those storms might be able to pull a little further south than where they're originally been tracking, mostly south of us. They can go back up north, and we can at least maybe get clipped by a few of them.
Yeah, so the next 3 weeks will tell, because then we'll be, about 5 weeks or so into the LRC, and we should have a little better by mid-November. I think we'll have a little better handle on exactly, not saying the cycle will be set by then, but it should be pretty close to becoming set, and then we'll be able to have a little better handle on what to expect for the upcoming winter. And don't forget, December 7th, mark that on your calendars. That's when we will have our winter weather outlook with Gary Lezak, who is the founder of the LRC. He'll be on with us, and we'll be talking about what to expect. We'll pinpoint dates on Arctic air outbreaks. Will pinpoint days on when we may see larger storms entering our area over the winter. So again, that's December 7th. That's on a Wednesday, I believe. We'll have our winter weather outlook.
And do we have a time on that yet, Dean?
I believe it will be starting at 2 o'clock, so we'll be doing it during the Jay Thomas show. So it'll be immediately following Weather and Ag in Focus.
Can't believe how fast this whole year has come around. We're ready to do another LRC episode.
Yeah, and we'll have to have another fun contest this year. little snowfall contest.
And when you guys are talking about the LRC and how if we set up for a dry pattern for the winter, we don't know, though, what the spring might be like. And it could be the way it was this past year, where we have a couple of big blizzards in April, et cetera, and start getting more snowfall. I mean, we just can't track that at this point, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. But if you remember last year, we had a very wet October and November. And remember, we had quite a few, and that bled into a very wet spring because we had late planting, and it was a kind of an extended winter. So, October and November tell the tale of what will hold for the rest of the following year. So, and remember the year before that, we had a very dry October, November, and that's when we had, what we have, Justin, maybe 30 inches of snow that winter. It wasn't much.
I think it was about 33.
Okay. Yeah,
0.7
yeah,
inches
it wasn't. It wasn't much, and then we had drought conditions that spring and summer. So, let's hope that's not a repeat. But it's possible. I mean, we've got La Nina that's still in effect, and then it's just a dry start to the LRC. So, one thing we could tell right now is that we will have warm-ups like we're this week, 20 degrees above normal. So you go maybe 10, 15 degrees above normal during the middle of winter. That'll feel nice. It'll be a nice break from which I'm sure will be quite a few Arctic outbreaks around here.
Right. Yeah, we can see a lot of things.
I think we'll see a fair
that.
share of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah.
Well,
so
stay tuned to Weather and Ag. Yeah, definitely is. So make sure you always stay tuned right here. We'll always keep you updated on what those changes with the LRC are and when we're expecting those next storm systems to be rolling in all the way through the upcoming year. But when we come back, we'll continue with our conversation on some ag topics. We need to find out, what's behind farmland inflation and our carbon credits. Will they actually pay more than real dairy? Well, we'll find out. And if you want to join in on our conversation, ask some questions or comments, give us a call, 701-293-9000. We'd love to hear from you. Again, that phone number, 701-293-9000. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Do you love working on cars but don't love your current job? If so, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. We're a family-owned full-service auto repair shop looking to hire skilled automotive technicians. With our state-of-the-art shops, great work environment with competitive pay and benefits, you'll enjoy a great job with a bigger purpose and a lot of opportunity for advancement. Visit FixItForwardAutoCare.com to apply. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Harvest is here, and that means we all need to be careful. Hello, this is Bethany Rentz with Irie Insurance. We want to make sure everyone up and down the valley has a safe and successful harvest. Take extra special care in your travels. Slow-moving combines, mud-covered roads, and debris are just a few things during harvest that can be dangerous. So take your time, watch your surroundings, and most of all, be patient and slow down. For more harvest safety tips, go to irieins.com.
You're protected and appreciated at Irie.
Attention all business owners who rent or lease space, including storage space. Stop wasting your money paying someone else for your space. You can now save a ton of money and own your own building with the incredible sale prices from General Steel. That's right, start saving money every month on renting space from others. Just call 888-74-STEEL to see how General Steel can help you save money. Our 50-year structural warranty buildings are custom designed for your needs and save you a ton of money. Call 888-74-STEEL.
Take it from a successful entrepreneur. If you need to expand or start a new business, you need General Steel.
Great team and the competitive pricing is the reason I went with General Steel.
Call 888-74-STEEL now, and you can get any of our popular quick construction structures, including a 40 by 60 foot building or a 50 by 100 clear span building, fast and easy. Call 888-74-STEEL. That's 888-747-8335. 888-74-STEEL.
It's Jay and Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we're here to tell you the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. My Slippers has a brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98.
This is a limited time offer, so go to MyPillow.com, use promo code WDAY, and get all new footwear for as low as $29.98. All-season slippers are made with exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper.
They are finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. Slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable, guaranteed. They will make the most comfortable footwear you'll ever wear.
So just go to MyPillow.com or call the number on the screen and get your very own all-season slipper, slides, and sandals as low as $29.98 with promo code WDAY. This is an introductory offer, so it won't last long. Order now. Call 800-875-0644.
Angry outbursts, bullying, harassment, and emotional abuse. The allegations against state Senate candidate Dan Bomer are horrifying. Divorce records say the cops were called to Bomer's home multiple times, and he had to be escorted from a doctor's office by police. Worse, Bomer recorded his young son while he showered. He recorded his wife while she slept and broke into their bedroom after she barricaded the door. Bomer even made her drive herself to the doctor while suffering a miscarriage. After their divorce, Bomer paid his child support late, too, weeks at a time, failing to provide for his young children. After all that, Dan Bomer wants to represent us in the state Senate. But after calling his own wife a cunt, stupid, a parasite, we should never call Dan Bomer senator.
This independent expenditure is paid for by the DFL Senate Caucus. It is not coordinated with or approved by any candidate, nor is any candidate responsible for it.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel with my favorite Halloween mask, Frankenberry cereal. And I am joined today by Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Justin Storm, Meteorologist Extraordinaire. We are thrilled that you are here to join us today as we talk about all things weather and ag. You can watch us not only on Facebook live streaming, but you can also see us on Acres TV. And if you have questions, whether it's about weather or ag, you can reach us at 701-293-9000. We are happy to take your calls. All right. When we went to a chance to hear some commercials, Justin made mention of some topics that might be coming up, and one could have to do with the inflationary costs on farmland. And I don't just mean what we're seeing for inflation across the country. We're seeing a real rise in farmland prices. Gentlemen, care to take a guess how much the average farmland acre has increased in dollar value since last year?
25%.
Well, at least you're in double digits. It's 14. So if you're a farmer and you're looking at 80% of your balance sheet, your dollars are probably made up of land, you can take a 14% increase. But Dean, perhaps you need to buy a piece of farmland for that cow you've always wanted. Well, expenses are up and it's going to cost you more.
So I'll wait till the interest rates drop.
Well, and that's one of the factors, right? Why is it going up? Interest rates have been down until this point. Now they're on the rise. So that's a change as we've had good interest rates with the Fed. We also had more dollars coming into the farm economy thanks to checks from the government. And so we saw a lot more cash. If you happen to be in the baby boomer age, so unlike your new golfing friend Dean, who's 28, perhaps in his dad's genre, his generation, or grandpa's, they were boomers. And if they made it through the 80s, they probably have some pretty good cash flow and equity built up. They're the folks that are able to do some purchases. What also helps is, well, they're not really fans of cryptocurrency, and they see farmland as a way better investment than crypto or stock market that some other generations might. And probably most importantly, we see a number of older folks that as they leave the farm and want to retire or they pass away, they've decided to leave an equitable share to every one of their heirs. Now, Justin, Grandma and Grandpa die, they decide to leave you a fair share of acres, but you have to share them with your siblings. Maybe you don't want to keep them, and that's the case in a lot of situations. That land gets sold, and now it's going out for the highest bidder, and so again, we are seeing more opportunities for investors to buy, and more expensive farmland is going on and on the rise right now. So some of the factors influencing us.
You know, I was going to say, I thought farmland was expensive as it was before the inflation, and now it's just even worse. I mean, how do you,
we're going
for
up.
somebody who's just starting out, say, I want to just start farming. I want to go buy some land, buy some old trashy equipment because I can't afford the nice stuff. How difficult is that to do nowadays?
Well, you're going to start out with renting, I'm sure, and looking for cash rent, which cash rent certainly isn't any cheaper either, because if you bought your farmland, so Dean bought the farmland and he wants to get top dollar for it as his investment, he's going to charge a higher rent cost to you as a starting farmer, Justin. And input costs are up. So granted, you're able to find some used equipment at a lower price. That's important. You still have to pay for your seed, your fertilizer, all the other inputs that you're going to need on the farm, and those haven't gone down yet. It's very helpful when young farmers apply for young farmer loans that they can get through the bank, FSA, the Farm Service Agency, etc. But also, you kind of know somebody who can get you started. Maybe you have a friend or a great uncle or someone who's going to get out of farming and has nobody to take over their land. Now's your opportunity to get into that operation and start that slow transition to taking over. So a lot of those factors come into play when you're looking to buy or get into farming. Not so easy.
Right. I think I'm just going to stick with my virtual farming. I feel like I might be a little better at that.
Well,
maybe it's a little easier to get started, though.
After our guest last week, Dean's a little undecided if he should stick with the cows he wants to buy or if he should just get goats, because Friday we had a great guest, and if you missed it, Tyler Gisvold was part of our show. He is a goat genetics producer, if you will. He's raising goats for their genes and is shipping them all over the world. He went from one goat because his wife thought they were cute to 350, and it was a great story to tell. So if you'd like to go back and listen to that interview, it's on our show archives on our website, and it's also on Acres TV if you want to watch that video with us talking to Tyler. It was a good day.
Right.
So.
It's also on our YouTube page and our Facebook, although you have to scroll down a few days on Facebook to find it. You just got to search Weather and Ag in Focus. But I just wanted to say that was such a fun conversation on Friday with him. I had no idea, and I don't know. I just thought it was really interesting and fun. So I'd encourage you to go back and give that one a listen.
Well, and Bridgette, you know we've been kind of stuck in a major drought in areas of Kansas, Nebraska, down into parts of Texas. I was reading an article today about officials plan to truck 6,000 gallons of water from the Missouri River across Kansas. What good is that going to do?
All right, so that is an awesome lead-in, and I'm going to go pull that story right now because I read that article as well, Dean. So what they're trying to do is to demonstrate that transfer of water. But as you said, so much area of that country, like 65% of the U.S. is in drought status right now, and they're going to move 6,000 gallons. That's about a tanker load. So one tanker load to try to show how we could move water, I don't know that that's going to give enough of an impact to really show anything. And one tanker load isn't going to go very far to try to help a farmer. I mean, that would certainly feed water his cattle, but I don't see that being very useful when it comes to watering his crop.
That's what I was kind of thinking the same thing. I guess the more disturbing part of the article was, and I wasn't aware that it was this bad, the Ogallala Aquifer is what they said by 2030. I'll have to scroll down here, but they're worried about that drying up, and which a lot of farmland, they irrigate from that. So
yes,
that would be bad, obviously bad news down the road.
So you're right. So they're saying this is officials. When I say they, this is government officials working in the state of Kansas and Nebraska. They're saying that the Ogallala Aquifer has about 10 years of water left in some areas. They didn't say the entire aquifer, right? Because there's depth changes through that underground aquifer, and it is one of the largest, or maybe the largest aquifer on Earth. It has changed. We don't have as much moisture there as we once did, but everything is cyclical. So help me understand, as a meteorologist, Dean, if we were to get back into a wet pattern, would we not see some refurbishment of the water levels in that aquifer?
It should.
So in the next 10 years, we may see that change and extend the life cycle of it, because it's not just about livestock and crop production, right? That Ogallala Aquifer is feeding cities, which are also on the rise, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so there's a lot of things pulling out of there, not just one.
Yeah, I just thought that was. I was thinking 6,000 gallons, and some have called it a political stunt, and so. Like I said, I think the thing I grabbed out of this was the Ogallala Aquifer, getting extremely, extremely low. So hopefully, that changes here. And like you said, everything is cyclical. And, hopefully we get into an El Nino pattern that helps bring those storms a little further south into the southern tier of the U.S. Hopefully we can get that maybe next year or the year after, and start to kind of tip the scales back to a little closer to normal.
Well, Dean, when we get that and you get more moisture coming anybody's way, that's going to help fill up some of these stock dams and creeks and streams and small tributaries, because traveling to the south central part of the state yesterday, I saw a lot of areas that are dry that were not dry 10 years ago. So again, back to that cycle, they were dry in my childhood. They were very wet for my young adulthood, and they're back to dry again. So by the time I hit retirement stage, I don't know exactly what they'll be.
Well, you've got a ways to go. Don't worry about it.
We'll see. But that 5,000 gallons, that's about a tanker load. I just don't see that being a significant change in what they're trying to do down there in Nebraska. We'll
Exactly. And
something has got to change at least some points in terms of El Nino and La Nina.
It does.
Is this I don't remember exactly. Is this the only time in recorded history that we've had 3 back-to-back La Ninas?
I think it has happened one other time. I know we've had back-to-back, but this might be the first trifecta, if you will.
Right.
But we are seeing signs at the start of next year, early next year, we should start to see the La Nina weaken substantially. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for the following season. Maybe 20.
Right. I mean, what are the odds you go into a 4th one?
Yeah, pretty low.
I don't think that'll. Yeah. I mean, it's possible. I just don't. I mean, it's pretty hard to get 3 back-to-back, at least going into a neutral phase for, next year after that.
Right, exactly.
To give some change.
Exactly, yep. And again, that's
guys,
just...
I have a homework question for you, though, for the two of you.
Oh.
How long have we been keeping track of El Nino? When did we start using that term? Because I don't remember it until we got into the 90s. How long have we been using that?
We were...
1872.
Come
I think you're guessing.
I think he just
nothing.
I think he just rattled that number off. Let me. I know we were talking about it in the 80s. I remember talking about it in the 80s. But let me do some research on that on how long researchers have been. When did they find El Nino? And if you don't know what it is, it's the warming and the cooling of the equatorial Pacific. Which has a tendency to change the weather patterns in the northern hemisphere, actually around the globe too. So,
right, that's
I'm looking
the
forward
western
to it.
coast of South America.
Yeah.
Okay. I just gave the guys some homework. Maybe they'll follow up with us in our next segment. Maybe they'll have to wait till tomorrow. But in the meantime, you're going to want to come back right after the American Ag Network update, because we'll talk further about the weather around the country and throw in a couple more headlines as well. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Hillary Clinton is back. She's even attacking President Trump and MAGA supporters again. She now claims Republicans have a plan to steal the 2024 election. Now Dick Morris says Joe Biden won't run again and that Hillary Clinton will run. It's all in Dick Morris's new book, The Return. Dick Morris has been Trump's political advisor. You've seen him on Newsmax and top networks. In The Return, Morris reveals Trump's secret plan to win again. But Morris says Trump still faces 3 big threats. Former President Trump urges you to get The Return. And Mike Huckabee said The Return is the only book to read this year. Everyone is talking about The Return. An Amazon #1 bestseller. Get Dick Morris's The Return in bookstores everywhere, or check out the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go to The Return 911 to get your copy today. The Return 911.com to get your copy today.
Are you a business owner who needs an extra hand to meet that deadline? Hi, Nancy Kelly here from Labor Masters. It doesn't matter if you're a carpenter, a roofer, a mason, a painter, a landscaper, or a moving company. Whether you need help with cleanup or tear down. If you're looking for long or short-term help this season, don't hesitate. We've got you covered. Give us a call at 701-566-8755 or go online at labormasters.net. Labor Masters, the quality, reliable help you need today.
Hey, it's 494 Ronnie from the Jay Thomas Show. And listen, MyPillow is having one of their biggest sales of the year, this time percale sheets. They're available in a variety of colors and sizes and are all on sale. For example, the queen size regular price, $89.98, now only $39.98 with your promo code WDAY. Order now, because when they're gone, they're gone. The percale sheets are breathable and have a cool, crisp feel. These come with a 10-year warranty. Nobody else gives you that. And a 60-day money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible offer. There is a limited supply. So order now. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, and use promo code WDAY. You will also get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. Call 800-875-0644 and use promo code WDAY, or go to MyPillow.com. That's MyPillow.com. Using promo code WDAY.
In public, Rick Becker says he opposes federal crop insurance for our farmers and ranchers.
No, I don't support any federal insurance.
But behind closed doors, he has reaped hundreds of thousands of dollars from the government for his businesses, $200,000 in property tax breaks alone. And despite getting all of this government money for his businesses, Becker opposes a vital program like federal crop insurance for our farmers and ranchers. In fact, without federal crop insurance, North Dakota is just one natural disaster away from wiping out our state's ag industry. And when challenged about the government support his businesses received, Becker callously said,
"Don't hate the player, hate the game."
Rick Becker will end federal crop insurance, and North Dakota farm families will pay the price.
North Dakota Strong, paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at northdakotastrong.org.
Wheat led the market all day. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Risman with this market update. Grain started off quite positive today. However, wheat was the winner in the upside in the grain market. Corn and beans did start out double digits higher this morning. However, around mid-morning, they did pull back from some of those gains, but they did end the day firm. In the livestock market, hogs started the day up. However, they turned negative about midday, with feeders and fats both lower for the day. Now, the big news that is driving the markets today is Ukraine, and that Russia suspended its participation Saturday in the trade deal that allowed grain to move out of those 3 Ukrainian ports through safe corridors, issuing a warning that ships could no longer consider it safe to do so. Ukraine is working with Turkey and the United Nations to keep things going, with a dozen ships leaving today. However, this may all come to an end over the coming week as the Lloyd's of London insurer Ascot paused writing new coverage for shipments leaving Ukraine, giving 7 days for ships already covered to complete their task. Now, data out of Ukraine is showing that 9.73 million metric tons of grain has moved out of its ports as part of the agreement since August 1st. That's including 4.27 million metric tons of corn and 2.78 million metric tons of wheat, with 172,000 metric tons of sunflower seed and 605,000 metric tons of oil. Let's get a look at the closing commodity numbers. December corn up 10 3/4 at 691.5. November beans up 19 1/4 at 1407. Bean meal December up 270 a ton at 428.10. Bean oil December up 142 at 73.21. Wheat Chicago December up 53 at 882 1/4. Kansas City December up 53 3/4 at 978 3/4. And the Minneapolis December wheat, that is up 31 at 976. Live cattle October up 360 at 146.77. November feeders up 1/4 at 177.62. And the December lean hogs, they are up $1.17 at 84.92. And crude oil is trading down almost $2 at right around $86 a barrel. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Ristvedt.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. And before we went to break, Bridgette had a very good question. She goes, how long has, El Nino and La Nina have been around for a long time, but we just kind of recently started talking about it in the 80s. But El Nino was discovered from fishermen. The South America fishermen first noticed periods of unusually warm water in the Pacific Ocean in the 1600s. They called it El Nino de Navidad because El Nino typically peaks around December. Now, what about La Nina? That was discovered back in the 1980s. And where did that go? It's been around for hundreds of years, but most recently kind of just gained traction in the 80s when they noticed it was, this is the opposite of El Nino. It's the cooling of the equatorial Pacific, and so they called it La Nina. So there you go.
I like it when we can give each other homework because the only people who benefit are our listeners here at WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. They learn stuff every day that we thought we should probably share with everyone. So
absolutely.
There you go, folks. One more thing for the day. I like it.
Oh,
all right.
Good question.
Justin,
I had no idea about when it was exactly discovered.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we can teach people some more things. Why don't we talk about these carbon credits, and are they actually going to pay more than real dairy?
Okay, believe it or not, you can have a side hustle if you're a dairy farmer, which who has that kind of time, right? You got cows, you got to milk, you got a lot going on. But an example is a farm here out in California, and California has some of the largest dairy operations in the world. They are, especially Northern California. So one of the things that folks are talking about is the fact that costs are about 30% higher today than they were 18 months ago. Labor is extremely tight. Also, I bring up carbon credits a lot. This is where large publicly traded companies want to have their best ESG, their environmental stewardship, environmental stewardship governance, social governance award, right? They want to look good that they're doing everything they can to keep carbon from going into the atmosphere. And they offset those credits by rewarding farmers for doing generally their normal practices. One thing that is happening for dairy farms is some of these companies are helping them, or their local electric cooperatives are helping them put in digesters for methane. So the manure pits, the lagoons, they're being covered, the methane's being taken off, and it's generating enough power for about 800 homes, taking some of that pressure off the electrical grid. Digesters are extremely expensive, and so that's why there has to be some help in getting them going. But also, one of the other ways that they are helping to lower the methane emissions is changing the diet of the animal. There are food additives that they are doing to make sure that they burp less. I guess we're giving cows a giant Tums now in order to make it better. But farmers are being rewarded for that. And in some cases, those dollars are adding up to be more than if you were just selling your milk products. So take that into account, what's actually happening for them. And even water purification is something that farms are doing, that they're able to reuse that water on farm, and it's helping them overall make more money off of some of these other Wall Street traded companies. Just a heads up.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very intriguing. Another thing I had no idea about.
Well, and if you're looking for some extra work for yourself because their labor is very tight, these dairies, especially in California, they're doing ride service, much like American Crystal does, to get folks up to their factories such as Hillsboro. They have a uniform program. They will feed you on a regular basis while you're at work. So these are some pretty good things that folks are doing in order to make sure their labor is happy and stays with them long term.
And Bridgette, tell us how Europe's energy issues are affecting grain and fertilizer prices.
Europe is in a tough situation where they are very far behind in natural gas. In fact, some places in Europe are saying at this point that they only have enough natural gas, particularly at the high cost it's at right now, in order to heat homes for the winter. And that's it. And so a lot of their bakeries, food processing areas, those folks don't think they're going to have enough natural gas. Their farmers are also running short in nitrogen to use on crop because natural gas, of course, is a major ingredient and component when you're building nitrogen. U.S. nitrogen, even though we don't build a lot here, but our exports have doubled because most folks want to find more sources of nitrogen. And Dean, you're not going to like this part.
Uh-oh.
There's even a major brewery in Poland who says they don't think they're going to have enough power. So they're going to have trouble with natural gas. They're going to have trouble with power. And they also think they're going to have trouble getting carbon in order to bottle their beer. So this brewery is afraid their operations may go down significantly or cease.
I will vouch.
So
Polish people like their beer.
This is true. So I'm sorry to see that happen.
Now, is this partially due because of the Ukraine war? Is that one of the reasons?
A lot of that has to do.
Okay.
Yeah, because all of that pressure, it was building before the invasion of Ukraine, but it has just caused so many disruptions in their supply chains over there when it comes to natural gas, and prices are rising. They're having trouble in a lot of areas. So, but we're not having trouble in the weather, gentlemen.
No, we're not.
It's going to be a good week.
Yeah, it is. It's, boy, I'll tell you what. Again, record warmth possible on Wednesday. We're in the 60s today and tomorrow. Winds will increase the next couple of days compared to today, but still some very nice weather. And then we'll cool down to near normal temperatures into the 40s by the end of the week. We'll bump it up briefly on Saturday, and then we'll be watching a storm system possibly late in the weekend, more likely sometime early next week, to give us, hopefully, our first chance of significant moisture around here that we've seen in quite some time. So fingers crossed. At least we're starting to see those storms roll in off the Pacific. So we're out of time right now, but for Bridgette, for Justin, and myself, we want to thank you very much for tuning in and or watching us on our streaming services. Now we are getting ready for the Jay Thomas Show. Have a great day.
970 WDAY